The biggest Sonic project of the year is slated to release in just 2 weeks. I can't believe that we made it this far. With all the hype surrounding this movie, dissecting the trailers, looking at the TV spots, etc., etc., there's one burning question that has probably escaped everyone's minds because we're all distracted with the shiny new movie. And that is, what exactly is next for the Sonic franchise? So this entire video was actually recorded and edited about 2 weeks ago, so just got details about a new game called Sonic Cross Worlds Racing, and honestly, I don't think too much changes with respect to the future of Sonic because this is just a spin-off title. The only question is, and the only wrench that could be thrown into the future of Sonic in this game, is if something greater than just like a generic kart racer game happens. What if they somehow manage to throw like Sonic Riders mechanics into the game or something like that? That is something that'll change the game forever. As far as what we know about the game, if it's just generic kart racing, it doesn't really change anything about the future of Sonic. It's nice that, you know, Sonic is becoming an annual franchise and we have a game, and that's completely in line with everything that Sega has said. But as far as like mainline platformers goes and some of those larger media projects like the movies and TV shows, that is more so what this is focused on. But there is a new Sonic racing game and I'm excited to see what happens. Like I said, there's potential that it could be greater than what we expect, but I'm going to keep my expectations tamed. Now let's move into the other subjects. For the first time in like 3 years, probably since I started covering Sonic on this YouTube channel, the future of the franchise is pretty uncertain. Now, this isn't a bad thing. It means uncertain in the sense that we don't exactly know what's coming next. For the first time in a while, it looks like the next confirmed project is not going to be known for the Sonic franchise. For example, even right before Sonic Movie 2 got released, literally 2 months prior, they announced Sonic Movie 3 with a logo and even the Knuckles TV show on Paramount Plus. Even when Sonic Movie 2 was coming out, we had Frontiers, we knew Movie 3 was confirmed, we knew Knuckles was confirmed, but now after Movie 3 releases, there's going to be no officially confirmed projects. So what do we have to look forward to in 2025 and beyond? Well, let's take a look. I'm going to unlock a core forgotten memory for everyone and inform you guys that Sonic Rumble is actually coming out very soon. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure this is coming out this winter. It doesn't seem like it's going to come out this month, which I thought it was, but the pre-registration is up and there's a bunch of new rewards you can get for signing up for Sonic Rumble. They also have a movie Sonic skin, so I think it would behoove them to probably release this game before the end of 2024, which is what I thought the original plan was. But a movie Sonic skin is coming to Sonic Rumble and the game is allegedly coming out soon. There's even a neat little trailer that was just released for Sonic Rumble and it showcases all of the characters that you can get, and there's going to be a wide variety of characters and, you know, content to do in this game, hopefully. I hope this game will be successful. I think one of the biggest things that they did was announce a port to Steam. I think that's going to do wonders for this game's survivability. The jury's still out as to whether or not this game will be successful. I'm not so convinced that this game is going to be an absolute sensation, but I truly hope that it will be. From a YouTuber's perspective, hello, I'm a YouTuber. A live service Sonic game is actually a huge opportunity. If you think about it, it's like if the game gets like weekly, bi-weekly updates, new maps, stuff like that, and it's actually successful in YouTube content, this can be a gold mine to hold people over until the next mainline Sonic game. In addition to that, I've been begging for competitive online multiplayer Sonic games for years. Now, I probably would have preferred a traditional adventure-styled racing game or something like that, but this kind of fits the bill for like the popular genre these days. Live service, you got updates, you got skins, cosmetics, it's multiplayer. There's already a super successful blueprint for Sonic Rumble. You know, you have Stumble Guys, you have Fall Guys as some of those games that this game is literally just a clone of. So the potential is definitely there for this game. Like I said, I would love for it to be successful, but I guess it really does come down to like the marketing and how they execute the strategy for getting the word out for this game. With the new Sonic movie coming out, depending on how successful it is, I think the idea should be, how do we get all the people that watch this movie to download and play Sonic Rumble? That's going to be kind of like the indicator as to how successful it's going to be, how their marketing strategy is on social media. It really all comes down to that. The last time they released a live service game after the launch of a movie, it was Sonic Speed Simulator, and everyone knows what happened with that game. It had one of the biggest launches on Roblox. It was really a flash in the pan. I don't think the success of this game's launch can ever be replicated ever again. It was actually that big. It literally took Roblox by storm, which is a wide reach way beyond the Sonic fan base. But if they can recapture some of that magic, it would definitely bode well for Sonic Rumble. All it takes is maybe a couple of viral videos, a couple of YouTubers outside of the Sonic niche covering it, for it to have that flash in the pan potential. So we'll have to wait and see. Based on what they're trying to do with this game, like integrate influencers into it, they made their own Twitter account for it, they're making trailers, they have a Discord server, the live service multiplayer PvP stuff, like they're finally dipping their toes into that. I would imagine that they're going to spend a lot of time probably focusing on updates and marketing for this game throughout the early parts of 2025. So don't be surprised if this is a major focus for them going forward. I don't think they're going to release it and then just let it die. The biggest thing for me with this game when we first played the beta was like they definitely need more content for it. So if they can release frequent, engaging content that really integrates that multiplayer aspect to it, maybe this game does have a shot. But let's move on to what else is coming in 2025 and what is unknown, what is leaked, etc. We haven't talked about it on this channel yet, but the elephant in the room for what the current Sonic lineup could be in 2025 and even 2026 is from this tweet right here, which says the next two Sonic titles are now in full production. One of these titles being codenamed Guinness, one being a remake and the other being the successor to Sonic Frontiers. This has been confirmed through dedicated research over the past month. This does not mean that the titles were not in development or any form of production at all, but that the full production is now currently ongoing. So Project Guinness, well, what could that be? Well, which game held the title for Guinness World Records of the most characters in any platforming game? That was actually Sonic Heroes. Remember a couple of months ago when the hottest rumor was that Sega is going to remake Sonic Heroes? Well, it looks like those rumors are probably circulating again. Now, it's not confirmed, but hey, Project Guinness, I mean, what else could that possibly be? It has to be the game that actually has a Guinness World Record, if I had to guess, especially with all the rumors that circulated about Sonic Heroes being remade a couple months ago. If there's one thing that we definitely know about the Sonic franchise, it's that Sega has made it abundantly clear that they want to do more reboots and remakes of Sonic games, and they also want to turn Sonic into an annual franchise. We already got Colors and Generations, so I feel like they're kind of running out of games to remake and remaster. I'm sure we all want a modern Unleashed port to Steam and the adventure games, but also Sonic Heroes is one of those games that's been kind of stuck in the past as well. As far as official releases goes for Sonic Heroes, it's been kind of stuck on those old platforms that it's been on since 2004 when the game was released. Now, this game can easily be accessed with emulators and stuff, but it's kind of a divisive game. Some people love or hate this game. One thing's for sure is that this game could use a touch and modern polish, so if they do choose to remake Sonic Heroes, it would definitely be good to see them fix some of the issues that plagued the original game, such as the slippery controls for the speed characters, some of the jankiness, some of the glitches, etc. Allegedly, there's been rumors that if they do remake Sonic Heroes because they don't have access to the original engine or whatever the case may be, they might have to remake it in Unreal Engine 5. So it's interesting. It's like if they do a full-blown remake of Sonic Heroes with like modern graphics and stuff like that, better collision and physics, then maybe it will be interesting. But as far as like a standalone typical quote-unquote remaster that Sega has been releasing over the last couple years, I'm actually not too excited because I play this game all the time on stream anyways. But the possibility of them truly doing a remake would be dope. I'm still taking this with a grain of salt, but hey, if this ends up being the game that they choose to remaster in 2025 or announce for a remake, then I guess we should have seen it coming, right? The next Sonic project we could potentially look forward to in 2025 is maybe some type of mobile games. As you know, earlier this year, there were rumors that multiple mobile games were in development. Well, actually, Sega themselves has said that Sonic mobile games are in development, and in addition to that, they purchased Rovio for a hefty sum, close to $1 billion. It's no secret that mobile games are extremely profitable, so it looks like Sega wants to dip into that market a little bit more. You don't spend $1 billion unless you plan to make some of that money back. So some of the rumored games that are coming out, maybe there's a Chow Garden mobile game. There could also potentially be a Sonic sports game, and maybe there could be other stuff in the works as well. So don't be surprised if Sega announces another mobile game for next year. The next big leak that we mentioned before was in 2026, we may be getting the successor to Sonic Frontiers. Now, why is this feasible and why is this possible? Well, if you think about it, 2026 is actually the 35th anniversary for the Sonic franchise. As you know, Sega likes to do big releases for anniversaries. The 10th anniversary was SA2. The 15th anniversary was Sonic 06. The 20th was Generations. The 25th was Forces. The 30th was technically Sonic Frontiers, although it was a little bit pushed back, because if they didn't push back Sonic Frontiers, the Sonic franchise probably would have collapsed as far as video games goes. And now the 35th anniversary may be the long-awaited sequel to Sonic Frontiers. After Sonic Frontiers release, one of the directors of the game, Mario Kishimoto, was pretty vocal on Twitter about soliciting opinions from the fans and discussing some of the developer insight into Sonic Frontiers. Earlier this year, it was talked about how the potential sequel for Sonic Frontiers is already under development, so we kind of know that this has been worked on for a little bit. I'm excited to see what they do with the sequel to Frontiers. We know that we've gotten some of that testing ground stuff in Sonic Frontiers Update 2, Sonic Frontiers Update 3. In addition to that, we got a glimpse of a new open zone in Shadow Generations, and we saw some of the cool updated concepts and improved ideas for open zone in here as well. So open zone is definitely the future for Sonic, and if they could put it all together in a complete and polished package like Shadow Generations was, then we could be in for something special. We also know that after the successful launch of Sonic Frontiers, that Sega is investing more into the IP and helping Sonic team out with more funding and more talent. So if a sequel to Sonic Frontiers gets announced, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe towards the end of 2025 they drop a teaser or something similar to what we got for Sonic Central in 2021 for an eventual holiday 2026 release. And now I think we should talk about the elephant in the room. Wait, why am I inside this tunnel right here? And that is, what is the future with Sonic Multimedia? As you guys know, the third movie is coming, and it's kind of the catalyst for all this discussion. But movie franchise in general has been something that's been the saving grace for the Sonic franchise in the 2020s. Safe to say that this is something that probably kickstarted the renaissance. So the question is, what's next? And we do have some things that can lead us into the direction of what to maybe expect, but nothing really concrete has been confirmed for the most part. But we do have like leaks and rumors and stuff over the last couple months and years to also speculate about as well. Big question really is like, what do you do after Sonic movie 3? They're gonna go pretty big with this movie. This is gonna be the biggest movie in the franchise yet, and they're gonna really go all out. So it's like, how do you follow up after this? Do the stories just keep getting bigger? At this point, it's like, this is the original trilogy, so it's like you don't really want to make it played out and kind of have the similar story. Like in movie 2, it's like Eggman teams up with Knuckles, then movie 3, Eggman teams up with Shadow, and then what is it, movie 4, Eggman teams up with Metal Sonic. It's like, for some people, maybe the movie franchise could be headed for a radical switch up. You know, if you think about it, Jim Carrey, a lot of people were expecting him to retire potentially prior to movie 3. So the fact that we got him back, like, it was a big announcement, it was big news, so there's no guarantee that he could come back for movie 4. So what does the movie franchise do after the third one? Does Jim Carrey retire? And that's a big question that they're gonna have to answer. Like, maybe the story gets so big in this one that for the fourth movie or for like a trilogy or something like that, maybe they expand outside of the original Earth planet. We know for a fact that they want to make more Sonic movies and keep expanding the cinematic universe. They said they have no plans of slowing down. So it's like, where do you go after you rapidly up the stakes from movie 1 to 3? How much bigger can you go? Maybe instead of progressing the main plot line forward, maybe you focus more on spin-off stuff. There's been a lot of leaks and rumors about a potential Shadow spin-off movie, maybe a chaotic series on Paramount Plus. So maybe the series, instead of expanding linearly, you kind of focus maybe on some spin-off side stories or something like that. Like, who knows? I don't know. The Sonic movie franchise has a lot of questions to answer after this third movie comes out, and I'm excited to see where they go with it because I like the movies. I like Jim Carrey as Eggman, so I would like to see all of that return, but we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. One thing that I found was really interesting is that there's rumors about a new animated series potentially in the works for Sonic, so it could be something like a successor to Sonic Prime in the sense that it's unrelated to the movie universe, but also could be the movie universe. If it's related to Paramount, there's actually something that's really interesting to me that it's not like confirmed or anything like that. It's more speculative on my end, but given the fact that Sega has a relationship with Paramount, CBS, Nickelodeon, I think it's worth pointing out that Nickelodeon just released something called Sonic Saturdays. So on Saturdays, they're going to be airing Knuckles, movie 1, movie 2, sneak peeks for Sonic 3, but in an unrelated IP to the Sonic movie universe, they're also going to be airing Sonic Prime. I feel like that's kind of a big deal in the sense that Sonic Prime is completely separate from the movie universe, and in addition to that, Sonic Prime is not even produced or owned by Paramount. So the fact that Sega is willing to let Sonic Prime air on Nickelodeon, does that mean that their relationship with Paramount is expanding to the point that they could be planning future projects that could potentially air on Nickelodeon, such as an animated Sonic movie universe TV show? That's something that I've always thought about. Just makes it feel a little bit more likely. The fact that Sega's letting that be on Nickelodeon could be a sign for something in the future or an expanded partnership. But also, I think the best case scenario for a rumored animated Sonic show would be something that's set in the game universe with all the characters being written properly and be portrayed in the way that they are in the games. Like, that's my ideal Sonic show, but there's a lot up in the air. A lot of this will depend on future announcements after Sonic movie 3. We'll see what the post-credit scenes are, and we can kind of analyze from there. We'll see if they announce a Sonic movie 4 or a Sonic movie spin-off or a new Sonic movie series on Paramount Plus or potentially Nickelodeon. But that's kind of where we stand with the movies. Everything with the movie franchise after movie 3 is uncertain, but we know for a fact that they want to keep it going. So that's the only thing that's concrete and that we know. So like we had stated before, the future of the franchise is uncertain, but that's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because there's so many cool things that we could potentially look forward to. And knowing all the momentum that has been built in the first 4 to 5 years of this decade, the last 5 are really going to be what truly defines this as the Renaissance era for Sonic. So let me know what you guys think is coming next in 2025 and maybe a little bit beyond that, because I feel like there's so much to talk about.